Alright you guys, how's it going? So I'm gonna do another video on my oil changing on my truck over here, my '07 Ranger, and hopefully this one will be a little bit more stable versus the bumpy one that I did last time. But yep, I just got back from O'Reilly. I got some motor oil, 5W20 for the Ranger, and I got some more Lucas heavy duty oil stabilizer, just some gloves and the appropriate filter, which I'll cover all that here in a second. But we're gonna crawl over into my truck and we'll start draining the oil. So we're underneath the truck right now, and I have a, let me check the size of this. This is a 13mm socket, and I just got back from the auto store, so my truck's still a little bit warm, so I'm on this side to avoid getting burned by the catalytic converter. But your oil drain bolt is right here. So oil pan here, right there for the chute out. And there we go. Now, I've got about 6,000 miles on this oil, but after driving to Idaho and back and school twice a week, and there she goes. Yep, just let it drain. So yeah, you're just going to want to let this stuff drain, and just to let you guys know, I'm putting it back in here, but this isn't just your standard oil. I'm also running Lucas, the heavy-duty fuel or oil additive in here. Sorry. So the color's actually not bad for the mileage it has on it. So they're definitely not kidding when they, because that's the color of it. But it's still fairly translucent. It's not completely dark yet, but yeah, they're not kidding when it extends your oil life. So I wouldn't say drastically by, you know, driving 10,000 miles on it, but yep, I'm just gonna let this finish drying or draining here. We'll stick the bolt back in, and we'll take the filter. So the bolt is back in for the drain pan, and I have a size B oil filter wrench cap, and so I'm gonna start taking this thing off. That doesn't want to come off right now. There she goes. This is why it's a good idea to wear gloves. And something that I like to do now is I want to make sure that the mount up here is because the last time I changed my oil, the rubber gasket on here was actually still stuck to the mount where you screw the new oil filter on, and so I had a gasket to gasket connection, which anyone who knows anything about cars knows that's a bad thing. So I turned my truck on right after changing my oil to run it, and you just heard this, and my truck just spewed oil everywhere. And so that's always something I check now. So I'll make sure that's just the bare metal surface up there, and that your gasket didn't stick. So yep, same thing. We're gonna let this drain, and then we'll put the new filter on. All right. So here's your new filter. and I've got some new oil on there. You always want to rim that so it gets a good seated connection. Go ahead and start threading her on. Everything's slippery now. And if any of you guys have the same truck, it's the Ford Ranger with it's an 07, the 2.3. The filter number here is MLG 51348. So, just for anybody who has the same truck. And it's by MicroGuard. You can also get Fram and whatnot, but this one's cheaper, and they both serve the same purpose. You don't need to over tighten it here. Alright, that's on there. So now just start filling the truck back up with oil. Got the hood up and whatnot. We're gonna pull the engine, the oil cap off, and you know, just for proof, it is 5W20. So get the oil, the Lucas, and then we'll grab the funnel and start filling her up. Alright, so the way I'm going to split this up, because this truck takes 4 quarts, so I'm going to do 3 1/4 of the regular motor oil, and then 3/4 of a quart of the Lucas. So, and like every oil can nowadays, you have that little level there that shows you how much you've used. So just start pouring this until I get to the level I'm at. So 3 2/3, and then whatever. If you are going to use Lucas, you know, because for every 4 quarts of oil, you need 1 quart of Lucas. So dividing it up, the one-time math in high school comes into play, right? So we'll finish off with the motor oil, and then we'll pick this up when I put my Lucas in. So I got my desired level of oil in there right now. So take my Lucas. This stuff is real thick. I'm gonna try and get a shot of this stuff. Actually, I'll just show you a sort of a viscosity, if you will. Yeah, this stuff's like syrup, like super thick molasses, if you will. But it's almost, it's not as slippery as oil, but it really helps bind the oil to everything going on inside of your engine. And I already did a video of this stuff the first time I used it. I'll put a link to that down below. And I mean, this engine, the 2.3, already, it comes from this factory with a rough idle. But, man, it smoothed out the idle problems so much. And it's actually making more power now, too. I mean, not significant, but enough to where you can tell with 140,000 miles on this truck, it's performing like new. So I'm going to check my oil level real quick. And we're sitting just on the edge of the hash marks, so, which the max is where that little circle is on this truck. So I'm going to keep on topping a little bit. Yeah, I love this stuff, and I did a video, I'll put a link to it down below again, but for the Lucas Oil fuel additive, that stuff I can't say enough good things about. So for every 10 gallons, you put 3 ounces of that stuff in there, so it's pretty potent. But you put it right in a gas tank, and so for my truck, 15 gallons, that's 4.5 ounces of fuel additive. So driving at 60 miles an hour in this truck with the gearing and everything else, from Chatsworth and LA County, California, all the way up to Mountain Home, Idaho, I was getting damn near 32 miles a gallon in this truck. And I don't care what truck it is, what size engine, that's amazing for a truck. So like I said, I can't say enough good things about that stuff. And again, I'll put a link to it down below. But that'll wrap it up, guys. I just checked my oil level again, and I'm right where I want to be. So now the last step is to drive back down to O'Reilly and recycle my oil that I took out. So yep, that should do it. So that's really how easy it is to change the oil in this truck, or any truck for that matter, or vehicle. So this is a oil siphon, if you were wondering. Just letting it drain back in there. I poured a little bit more engine oil in there than I would like, so I took just a little bit out. So I've got about 1/4 of an ounce left in here. So, and this whole thing's a quart, so they make it real easy on the guesswork. But yep. So questions, comments, leave them down below. Feeling generous, hit that like button, and as always, thanks for watching, guys. And like I said, those 2 videos, the first time I used the oil additive and the fuel additive video, I'll put those down below as always. So take care, guys, until next time.